Hello. Welcome to Chitter Chatter. It's our first live stream. I'm so excited.
Yes, I know. Good
I'm
evening.
Good
How's everybody?
evening. Yeah, I'm Carolyn and this is Jocelyn and this is our new Chitter Chatter channel. We put up some videos already and they've gotten some heat. They were a little hot for a little while there. It's good for a start because with YouTube, um, a lot of people they'll just start
I
off with
know.
like
Good evening.
10.
How's everybody?
Oh,
Oops.
Echo.
Sorry.
They'll
Sorry.
start off with like 10, 20 subscribers. We're already over 500, so it's great. I've been plugging it on Moms for Justice. You've been plugging with your friends and all
Yes.
that. So, and we have Rosie on. Rosie is one of my moderators on Moms for Justice.
Oh,
How are you, girl? Thanks for
hi,
joining us.
Rosie.
So today we are going to talk about how 2025 sucked. Okay. Now I think Lynn disagrees with me. She had a good year, right?
I mean, I'm a pretty positive person, so even if something particularly sucked, I could always look at it in a better light. So, but in
Yeah.
general, I don't think anything specifically was bad. That makes sense, you know?
That makes sense, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a negative person though. I've just had a bad year. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a bad year, and I want to talk about all the things personally, and maybe even for you personally, that maybe went wrong. I want to talk about a lot of things that happened throughout this year that kind of really sucked. And then what we can do in 2026 to have a better year, some New
Yes.
Year's resolutions, things like that. But for me, I'll start off by saying that on a personal level, and I never said any of these things on Moms for Justice either. So this is
Okay.
going to be new for anybody that's on Moms for Justice that's watching. But on a personal level, I had a family member suffer a heart attack. I had my eldest turned 18, and what we thought was going to be her pathway did not end up being that. I won't go into crazy detail, but that was, you know, the last 3 months have been crazy with that.
Right.
There's been a job loss in my household. That was really hard. And I want to get into that because job loss is a major problem in 2025 right now. And I want to talk about why I think that is and what is to come for 2026 with that. And
Okay.
then, getting old. I think I'm 52. Not sure. The other day I
You
go,
are.
how old am I? Am I 51 or 52? I think, am I 52 or gonna be 52? You should
You're
know.
52.
All right.
You're 52.
Oh,
You're
darn. So that
gonna
means
be
I'm
53.
gonna be 53 soon. So, okay. And then, a little bit of weight gain has happened with me
Oh,
because of like the menopause, and I have IBS and all that stuff. But then I found out today, I was like crying all last night and all morning
oh,
because I have a friend here that is the mother of another child that has grown up with my kids in theater. And we have always hung out, at the shows and
right.
all this. And I found out today that literally she only has like couple days left in her life.
So has she been ill for a while? You knew about it, or you guys
She
didn't
was
know that?
ill and had a procedure about 8 months ago, and she was better, I was told,
Okay.
and was recovering from that. And basically, the
Mm,
last night I saw a GoFundMe for her because her son was out of the country for Christmas. So even on Christmas Day, she didn't even know this was going on with her. And then she was
oh,
feeling sick, went to the hospital. They looked and they saw that it was
it came
cancer had
back.
spread. Um, well, it's not that it came back. It wasn't the same cancer, but it had spread to other areas, and
Okay.
they said that there was just a very minimal chance. So I've been pretty devastated all day about that.
Oh, I'm so
Cancer
sorry.
sucks. Cancer really
Yes,
sucks.
so sorry.
Disease.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and
It
there's a
usually
lot of
does.
that.
It usually does come back with vengeance. If cancer should come back, it seems like it comes back with vengeance, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it ravages people, and I mean, my husband was saying to me last night, he goes, what is up with heart disease going down and cancer now going up? Like, heart disease is
Mm,
the leading cause of death. And we were looking at a graph that's showing that cancer is now almost surpassing that. And it makes you
wow.
wonder, what is it, what we're consuming?
I
Uh,
always think it's food. I
well,
think it's food.
absolutely. I think it's
Yeah.
food. I think it's the American diet, but and I don't want to get controversial here, and I'll try not to, but I do believe that everything that happened with COVID, whether it be the virus, you had the virus and you were unvaccinated and it did something to you, or the vaccine did something to you. And I think that people are starting to realize that there has been, a cause and effect there on what happened with COVID. So I hate getting into like crazy conspiracy theories about COVID, so I'm not going to do that. But do I believe that the virus or the vaccine or both are wreaking havoc in our bodies since 2020? Yes,
I definitely think there's a correlation there. I mean, I personally believe that COVID, whether it's a vaccine or if you actually caught it, I think it like turns certain cells on over time, and it's it's causing gene, not to say gene mutation, but I think that we all have the cancer cell. This is my own theory. It's just whether it turns on or not. And I think it's turning a lot of people's cells on.
And your genes have a lot to do with it, right? I mean, if you have a mother and father that did not have cancer, I think it's very unlikely for you to get cancer. It's more unlikely, obviously, but breast cancer is one of the worst, where like if the mother has it, her daughter is at such risk. It is really, really scary. Now, I've been blessed where I don't have breast cancer in my family. I don't have lung cancer in my family, and I don't have really any heart disease in my family. So I do have a few aunts that had cancer, but that was back in the World War II. In the
1940s.
The 1940s. Did you move something? Because it looks like you're a little off sync. All right. Okay, you're better.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're better now. All right. Yeah, that's good. Just don't move it again.
Well, it was I touched my AirPod and I think it thought I was connecting. So,
anyway, yeah.
I went to move it out of the way. Honestly, I just feel like the food that we consume, even if it's like, even if you try to cook yourself, you got to watch the products you buy. Yeah. Because, a lot of our fruits aren't the same. Like a plum or a peach from the 1920s was like half your palm. Now you need your whole fist to hold a peach. You know what I mean? Right. It's just, everything is so, modified. So even when you try to cook healthy, sometimes it's not always healthy.
They have sprayed them with different pesticides today than they did back then as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
and even if they didn't spray it with a certain pesticide, they're treating the soil with a certain type of pesticide, which in essence affects the plants. Yeah. So they might say, oh, the plants, nothing was sprayed on it. There was no pesticides, but in reality, there probably was.
Yeah.
So it's that's why a lot of people do a lot of vegetable gardens. I've noticed a lot of people are doing their own vegetable gardens. One, I don't know if it's because the prices of vegetables have gone just incredibly expensive for a vegetable, or just people are doing it for the health reasons.
Well, you know what they say, when you go to the food store, you should shop the perimeter of the store and never in the middle, except for your condiments. So you've got your flour, your baking goods, salt, sugar, things like that. And you shouldn't have sugar, but that if you stay only on the edges of the store, you kind of can't go wrong. You're pretty much, because everything from cracker, even the like Smart Ones and Weight Watchers frozen dinners, really, I mean, they're so bad for you. They got so much sodium in them. It's terrible.
So much preservatives, really. It's really the preservatives. Because if that item can last that long, it's going to last that long in your body. Yeah. I mean, you're consuming those. God didn't make your body to dispose of all these preservatives that you're intaking. It wasn't like, they're going to come up with I don't know, high fructose. Our body does not know how to process high fructose. Yeah. No. So that all just gets filtered.
And then you got the dyes. There's all these dyes, food colorings.
And, I love Doritos.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Doritos? Like, Doritos are the best. Yeah, they are good.
And the red dye I literally suck the cheese off the Doritos. I mean, you should. I love Doritos.
Do you remember in high school when we would meet for lunch? We went to Freehold Township High School, and we would meet for lunch, and I would get a bagel with cream cheese and I would smash the Doritos on there. I don't even know if there were Doritos though. There was another name brand that was like Doritos. Does anybody remember what they were?
I I know you're talking about, but didn't matter. I think whether it was
So it was like
any
nacho
nacho.
something,
Yeah,
nacho.
yeah, nacho.
Oh, it
I
was
would put it
so
with butter
good.
though, and you
What?
should try it. I did mine with butter, so bagel butter and Doritos
Ooh, I can't. You
sandwich.
just can't go wrong with that. But the cream
Yeah.
cheese is really good. So yeah, guys. So my year really sucked. It's
Mm.
looking up. Things are looking up. Um,
Okay,
but
that's good.
it sucked. But on top of the fact that no, well, first of all, did anything suck for you this year?
My biggest thing, I think two things. One is I have a really good friend that I look at as a sister because we grew up together, and my sister, my blood sister, they're they're cordial, but they're not. They had gotten into an argument, um, and it just hasn't been the same since. So
I know who you're talking about. And I
right,
remember you telling me about this, and that is so hard because
yeah,
they have known each other forever. I mean, this other person basically grew up with Jocelyn and her sister, and she's literally like a sister to them and
yeah,
was like a daughter to your mom before she, all the way up to when
right.
she passed away. And they got into like this disagreement over whatever. And
I mean, I just it's unfortunate. My sister disrespected my
your
like
friend.
adopted sister, yeah, my
Yeah.
friend, and and she just doesn't want to come to the table and recognize that she was wrong. But
Yeah.
she just
Your
and
sister.
my sister, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just that's the most upsetting because
I haven't
this
asked
is
you about
family.
that. I haven't
Yeah,
asked you about that. There's been no chance. There's been like last I heard, it was like this was like before Thanksgiving because I've had so much going on
right,
as you know. But
right.
did she ever try? Did we'll just say J and B are their initials? Okay. Did B try to go talk to J? Your sister is
No,
J.
no. So basically, we were all together for Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, but and they were both very cordial to each other, and I knew that was going to happen because we are adults. We're not,
Sure.
we're
Right. You
not
got to be mature about it.
children. We're
Right.
mature, but that's as far as it's going to go, and
It was
that's
just
unfortunate.
weird. It was just weird and awkward.
No, no, it was fine. I mean, like they were fine talking to each other. It seemed very normal, but it's not normal
It's not the same. It's just not the
because
same.
it's never going to go past that. Just being
Um,
cordial.
that
And that's the sad part. Yeah.
that is a hardened heart. You know what I mean? And if you don't soften your heart, you can't ever forgive people. You can't ever, just because it just doesn't.
Well,
It,
how is B going to soften her heart towards J if J doesn't recognize what
yeah,
they did to B? You know what I mean? Like it's just,
exactly. So they both are like, are they both kind of hardened towards each other?
no, they're very cordial to each other. It's
They're
fine. But what I'm
cordial,
saying,
but are they
yeah,
both like being stubborn? And I am not going to
no.
say, hey, let's let bygones be
Oh,
bygones, move on from
well,
this.
if you want to look at it that way, yeah, you could say they're both stubborn. They're not letting
Yeah,
bygones be bygones. But um, honestly, I don't think it's so far fetched for what B is asking for.
sure.
I'd want the same respect back.
Yeah. Yeah. You know
What are
what?
you gonna do?
Jay just might not be able to give that. And you know, I
Right.
mean, has always had trouble being able to give that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to have grace for people and at least they can like cordially get along, but it's a bummer for you is what you're saying. And for 2025 was that pretty much the thing that stood out for you?
Yeah, because it started, I think, in February. So it's been
Yeah.
all year like um,
Mhm.
this chip, not say chip, but almost like this, on the cliff, like
Yeah.
what's gonna happen, like what are we doing for like, we end up not getting together for a lot of holidays. But they
Mm.
did come together for Christmas, which was
Yeah.
fine, I mean, but again, just knowing like comes to the future, like this is how it's gonna be,
Yeah.
because there's been no effort
Yeah. And then
on
your
Jay's
son
part.
left school, but I don't know if that was a bad thing. Did
No,
your
that was
son
that. Oh, yeah. So no, it's not really a bad thing. It's just it's a matter of understanding. And I was going to say that with you too. I know with your daughter too. But
Yeah.
it's you just got to trust the process. You got to hope that you taught the values and they follow through. And let me tell you, I have 3 kids, and with my first one, if this was my first child, I would be up in an uproar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because he's my third, and I see how my other two's lives have unraveled, and they're doing great, they're doing fine. And
Yeah.
you know what, it doesn't have to be this set block that I had put out for him. He doesn't have to take the steps that I thought would be I want him to listen to a certain point, because we are adults, we've gone through this, we see what life is like. I have 52 years of experience under my belt, I know
Yep.
what's what. So I do want him to take my advice a little bit more than just me being a parent, but I do have to believe that there's a reason,
Yeah.
because the steps that my first two, I would have said, oh, forget it. Because my first one didn't go to college at all, so
Hmm.
I was just totally upset about that, in general. But, there's things happen.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench at you because I just sat here telling you how awful my year is. 2025 was an awful year, no doubt about it. But you know what? It is actually looking up because I would not change a thing. I have grown so much as a person, and I even feel like I haven't caught up with you because we've not been around each other
I know.
as for a while now. I've been doing the Moms for Justice. I've been taking care of some things in my family. Then we had Thanksgiving, and then we had Christmas and all that, and we just barely passed each other, for a few videos. But what I do want to say to you, and it's truly from my heart, is that I have never seen such a change in myself as I do right now. And it's all because of those things that just happened to me. And one of the things I learned is that it taught me that I have to drop the reins with my kids.
Right.
And it's been a freedom I've never felt before. You know what I mean? So
Oh.
when it came to my daughter, changing plans. Okay, I won't get into too much detail, but she changed her plans, and it was very much methodically planned out. Everybody, I had, of course, she wanted that, but
Yeah.
me being the supportive mother that I thought to be was like, okay, this is what you want to do. So I went like, gangbusters getting her
Right.
there. It
Right.
cost a lot of money, but it cost a lot of love, time, and patience on my part.
Oh, yeah.
And then she gets there and very quickly says, I don't want to do this anymore. So I was devastated. I felt resentment. I felt anger. And she's changing her path. And what all of a sudden I realized, you know what? I am not in control here. Only God is in control of this thing right now. And I have got to let go. And I realized so many things like that I never taught her. She would ask me questions and I was like, how do you not know the answer to that question? And I'm
So
thinking,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's even the stupid stuff. You're like,
but it's my fault.
what do you mean?
It's my fault because I was always like, when she went off to college, I would try to get her to sit down and do the applications, but it was me filling them out. And my husband
No, I
would
never
say to
did
me,
that.
what do you, and then I would see, I'm like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then, the time would come and she wouldn't do it, or she wouldn't be on top of it. And then I would quickly sign in and get it done because a deadline was due. I even remember when she applied for her government loan, they make you take like this little quiz where you have to like sign that you're aware of your responsibility and all that. And she signed it. And just the other day, she's on the phone with my father, her grandfather, and he says to her, well, you have that loan that's going to be coming in that you're going to have to start paying back just for the one semester. And she goes, what loan? And then he goes, you have a loan. She goes, no, I don't. I'm like, and I'm realizing that until she does things start to finish on her own, she's never going to learn anything. And that is my fault because I've always like stuck my nose in there and be like, let me help you. Let me catch you when you fall. So it's a hard lesson.
You and I different. You and I different that way.
Yes.
Because I am so not the helicopter mom.
Yep.
I've always been the type of person, like we walk into the doctor's office. I don't care if my kid was 7 years old. The doctor would always look at me and be like, so what seems to be the problem? And I turn to my kid, what seems to be the problem? Like I always wanted my kids to address it. Like, why are you looking at me? Ask the kid, And like, when my kids are older. So when my kids first got their first iPhone, they were like, I think in sixth or seventh grade. You know, iPhones came out years ago. So they
Yeah.
finally got their first iPhone. And I was like, I'm not setting it up. You call. I made them call, put it on speaker, and they set
Oh
up
my
the phone and
gosh.
everything because I wasn't going to do that. I don't have time for that. You know what it is different? You're not a working mom. And I am. Like I got and I work. So when I'm not working, I have
Hmm.
that's when I find when I'm home, it's when I find the time to do laundry and all that stuff. So you got to do it. You want to do it? You got to do it.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Let me tell you, it's like
yeah.
pulling teeth to get me to
Oh.
not get involved. I'm like, I'm like right there. Oh, and you're right. When you said the doctor's office example, guys, did that ever
Yeah.
happen when you like took your kid to the doctor? I would be sitting there and I'd be like, nope. And I would even say to myself, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let her talk. I mean, at this point, she's 12, 13, 14, whatever. And I'd
Yeah.
be sitting there. So what seems to be the problem? And they would always, because of their age, they'd be like, well, you know, they would be like, and then I'd be like, okay, she's had this bruise on her side of her leg all this time. And then I'm really concerned about this one thing. She got this mole. Can you look in the back of the, you know, I'm just like, I cannot shut my big fat mouth. And I'm like, I'm not helping this child in any way by doing that. And I can't believe I'm only getting this now. And it's like, I have an 18-year-old and a
No,
15-year-old, guys. I mean,
that's
I
okay.
ain't got much time left.
Listen, that's great. As long as you're recognizing, that's like the best thing. You know what I mean? Because then you're just gonna it's gonna allow for your youngest to
Yeah,
grow a little bit more before she hits those years, you know?
I know.
And it's a good thing. It's good for you. I think
It
it's
is.
it's growth. That's phenomenal.
Okay, I got a great story to
Yeah.
tell you guys. And you guys can be like, tell me what you guys think. I really want all of your opinions and I want your opinion. And it's kind of
Okay.
funny, okay? Because
Oh
all right.
no.
Well, I think I told you the other day. I did tell you already,
Okay.
so I'm gonna repeat the
All right.
story. So
Okay.
my daughter that just came home from college, you know, she had that experience. She says to us, oh, I am, you know, so much better at being responsible
Oh.
now and cleaning up after myself. So I'm like, oh, okay. So so I'm thinking, okay, you know, she make her bed a little more often and clean up. So she makes some food on the stove, you know, some rice. And she was in a hurry and she had some place to be. And she happened to leave the pot with the leftover rice still drying up in there, left it there and just went out the door. So my husband saw it and he was like, oh, she didn't clean up the pot. I guess she left it for you to clean up. And I'm like, yeah. So my husband, using it as a teaching moment, but at the same time to be funny, takes the pot, goes in her room, and just places the pot with the old rice on her bed. She gets
Yeah.
home at like midnight, and she was so mad. Like she freaked out. She like stormed in the room, freaked out on him, and everything. And I'm like, it's not that bad. I mean, she thought that it was so disrespectful to her that he would put the pot of rice on her bed. And I'm like, what? And I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that because well, we've had some advice since then, and most people are like laughing and think it's the greatest thing in the world. And they're like,
Right.
what? Give me a break. You know, she can't, she disrespected you, but not by not like cleaning up the pot before she left. So I don't know. I just thought it was a really good example, but that kind of stuff I'm just letting go. Did I do that?
I didn't mean to do that. It's because I went like this.
Yes, you did.
Um, so to me, I kind of feel like everything's like a learning curve, right? So I probably would have done that whole rice thing for sure if they left it out the second time. Like I would have did
Oh,
the
great. Now
warning
you're going to
ahead
make
of
me
time.
feel
Right.
like crap.
No, no. But what I'm saying is it's still
Oh,
overall not
it
a
always happens.
yeah,
She always
overall
leaves
I
it. Hmm.
oh yeah. Oh, she does still now, even till this day. She'll leave it.
No, up until the time, like this happened last week. She's been leaving like food.
Oh.
Yeah, the both of them do
Oh,
that.
so
Yeah.
so then actually it's not the first time you've spoken to her about cleaning up after herself. So that's not so bad than doing it. I just thought that was the first time she's done it where she's cooked for herself and left a mess.
Right.
But you know, a lot of times my kids will come back to me and be like, you know, I had to run for an appointment. Just give me a second. Let me come home and do it. If I don't do it the next day, and I say to them, like, why should I have to wait a day for you to clean up
Right.
your mess? Like,
Right.
you know, I was like, listen, if it's your house and you want to wait a day, how about it? But it's my house. So I want it done after you're done eating. And if you don't do it, I prefer to do it right before I eat, but if you want to do it after you eat, so be it. But if you don't have time to cook and clean and get your appointment, don't cook.
Right. Right.
Eat anything fast out of the fridge.
Factor that into the time that you are planning on making this meal. Like, well, am I going to have enough time to make this, eat this, and clean it up? So, yeah.
And actually, and honestly, there's times where my kids will either A, leave a note and say, I will get to this, or B, text me and say, I was running out the door, don't clean it, I will do it. And they will, But
kind of like an IOU.
Yeah, I think every family kind of goes through this, because I don't think, because this whole time, you got to remember, this whole time she's grown up in this household where you cleaned up all the time. And
always.
It was no really big deal, so.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like the queen of clean. I really am. Like, I am like, and I'm like, what's the word? Kind of a control freak, OCD about that kind of stuff. It needs to be put back this way. It needs to be, hung up this way. And it's just.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I remember I talked to somebody about this when they were younger, and they were like, just let them clean their own room up the way they want to. And I'm like, but it still doesn't look good. And they're like, so what? Just let them clean it up. They're going to do the best they can. And why is that so important anyway? There's other things that are more important. So I was like, okay, fine. It was hard for me to, it's just been really.
Just close the door. Just close the door. Yeah.
Now, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, my daughter, all these years, hot mess in her room, hot mess. If she's getting ready,
I know,
clean clothes, dirty clothes, it's all together. Yeah. But now that she's older and, holds a full, is going to school full time now and has a part-time job and is now responsible, young adult, her room is nice and clean. And did it take forever? Yeah, it took forever. But the fact is that she will learn on her own time, and now her room is clean, So, and it prevented me from having huge arguments. Of course, my husband would have an argument with her all the time. Clean your room, Mom. And I'm just like, shut the door. She's got to live in that mess,
Oh, I was the biggest slob. I really was. Yeah. I was a bad slob, and I can't believe. Yeah, your thumb keeps.
I know.
Giving a thumbs up.
No, that was a real thumbs up, because you really made a mess.
I think my mother-in-law's on here. If she's on here, it's hilarious, because when I first started dating my husband, I was a slob when I was staying there. I remember we stayed at his parents' house for a while, and I would leave the white towels on the floor. And it was just horrible. I was a horrible daughter-in-law. Horrible, right, Mom? Oh my gosh. But I got to be very organized and very much like a little Susie homemaker, and it happened. So you know what? I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to sweat. She goes, I'm here.
Yeah.
My mom's on. All right. And so I remember, Mom, me and your son, we would leave stuff laying around. We were horrible human beings.
That's just the age. You know what I mean?
What else? Can you see that on the screen? Yeah. Oh, you can. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I should really let me move this way and then pull it down. That's a little better. All right. Okay. So, So anyway, another thing I want to talk about is that in 2025, inflation. Okay. You go to the grocery store right now. That's the biggest thing for me is food. I mean, I know.
So true.
I mean, everything's gone up, but food, you can't even get ketchup under $5, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, things that used to be $2.99 and the store brand, not the name brand. You can't even.
I have no problem getting store brand anymore. Back in the day, it'd be like, no. Well, okay, let me take that back. I'm sorry, it has to be Heinz ketchup. And it has to be my Hellmann's. But I don't care what mustard it is. I don't care what balsamic vinegar it is. I don't really care. Those other things, I don't care. I agree.
What about the Duke's mayonnaise? Is that it's called Duke's? Have you ever tried it?
I've never tried it.
Well, then how do you know that has to be Hellmann's?
I'll try it at your house.
Okay.
I'm not gonna waste $7 on mayonnaise.
to test something. To test something out, right? To see if something's better.
But I have to say, when I was a stay-at-home mom with my first two, I would coupon like there was nobody, like but back then coupons used to be able to double or triple a coupon. So, you buy, have the same coupon and use it on one product 3 times. They don't allow that anymore. But it was like a part-time job getting all these coupons together every Sunday, right? I get
Right.
my paper, I get my mom's paper,
And
I
you
would cut
sit there and
coupons.
cut and
Oh,
stack them all up, put them in order
have
piles.
yeah, and back in the day, we're talking like 20, well, my kid is what, 27 now? Like what, 27 to 20, 25 years. Like I was home for like the first 5 years. I would save like $30 to $50 a week on groceries, which is so much money. 27 years ago was so much. I mean, I was a queen at it. But now, like I can't be bother with coupons, but I will always get stuff on sale. If I'm like looking for something and I see, okay, what's on sale? Okay, what's on sale? Okay, I can do that brand. All right, I'll take it. Like
Okay.
that's at this point now
And
because
I
it's
remember that because I
expensive.
used to live where Jocelyn lives,
Hmm.
but her stores are ShopRite and Pathmark and Acme and what else are the New Jersey
Well,
stores?
well, Pathmark doesn't exist anymore. Acme's there,
Okay.
but at Stop and Shop. But I only shop at Sam's and ShopRite. So I go to Sam's twice a month. I go to ShopRite maybe once a month to pick up like my favorite jelly,
Yeah. Yeah.
things like that. Or, because all they have at Sam's is just, strawberry and grape, boring.
I'm kind
But
of a food snob. I mean, I buy like I'll only get my produce at Publix, and I
oh,
only like my fish at Publix. But then Kroger has all these great deals. But Publix has the buy one get one free, and
okay.
on so many things every
You got
week.
to take
And
advantage.
yeah, and if you only buy one though, you still get it half off because it's buy one get one
Oh,
free. Like yeah, me and my husband
that's
were like
great.
we were like arguing about that in the store the other day. He's like, "No, it's not. You have to get the second one." I'm like, "No, you
Yeah.
don't. You could get the one." And we went over to the register and we self-checked out because we only had a couple items and it was a buy one
Right.
get one. And I'm like, "Proving you wrong right now." Zoop, and I showed him. So yeah, then I mean, if it's not something I need a lot of, then I'll just buy it, get it half off. But
Yeah.
I just cannot believe how expensive it is. Like the gas isn't so bad. I don't think gas is real bad.
Gas has been reasonable, I have to
What are you
say.
paying a gallon?
Well, I buy the middle one, whatever so
Yeah.
it's not regular, it's not
Okay.
plus. I think it's premium. I'm not sure. I know it's plus. I think I
Unleaded.
paid like
No.
they're
Uh,
all unleaded. I
okay.
think I paid
You're right.
4.36 maybe a
Okay.
gallon.
So gas is cheaper here. I pay for the max, the very best gas, because I have a BMW, so
Right.
I'm supposed to only put in the good gas,
Yeah.
according to my husband.
Right.
And it's like 380 here.
That's dirt.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're putting the best
And
gas?
yeah, always. No, 'cause it's just cheaper in Tennessee. But
Oh,
also like Kroger, if you use your save card, I'm sure you have a ShopRite card,
right,
a
right,
Kroger,
right.
you get every time you do like a grocery haul, you get points off your gas. So then when you put in your
Oh,
number at the gas station, I could get easily $1, $2 off
oh,
sometimes.
that's great.
It is so awesome. So yeah. So that's
That
good.
is,
All right. So
yeah.
inflation is really bad. Everything has gone up. Another thing I wanted to say is this like I know it's
Oh,
dumb,
real
but go
quick.
ahead. Yeah.
So we go to Sam's twice a
Oh,
month.
yeah.
I
She's
u- I
always
used to,
done this. She saves money this way. Listen to what she does. Go ahead.
yeah.
Tell them.
So I would always like set weeks. So every X amount, it's all like laid out. So like this week, I always buy the paper towels and the olive oil because they were always like the $20 items, right? And then the following week, it would be toilet paper and something else that's like, very expensive. But everything else would be the same. Like I always buy the same cereal. I always buy the same, the little stuff like the black beans or whatever. And then the following, but the main big items like rice, because you get the big, like, humongous bag of rice, but we didn't need that once a month. You only needed like once every 2 months or something like that because we go through a lot
Right.
of rice. But so everything was like I had it on alternating or on a schedule. So whether like say that week I'm supposed to get paper towels, but I actually have enough that's going to last me 2 weeks, let's say I didn't go through as much, I
Yeah.
still get it because that's the week I'm supposed to get it, because I get it so that I can still stay in the same price range. Like I don't want to be, 700 this week, 500 this week. I just want to stay at
Ugh.
like 575 every time I go. Anyway, but back in the day, I mean, food shopping used to cost us $300 or $500 at Sam's Club, and then 20 years later,
A
I
month? A month
no, every time you go,
every time you go. Okay, but you
yeah,
go how often?
twice a month.
You go twice a month, and you're spending over 1,000 now.
So I guess this means
Your
balloons.
laptop really loves. Your laptop is having a little private moment with you there.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So anyway, so that's what I'm saying is that, and then every once in a while, I'll go to ShopRite to get either their sales or or something that I love.
wow,
Oh wow,
262 in South
260.
Florida. Lucky girl, Hope.
That is
Wow, that's
phenomenal.
awesome. That is really awesome.
I haven't
Okay,
seen those prices in decades.
I know. Here's another thing, right? Only like 2 or 3 years ago, I love to decorate. I love to replace items in my home, sometimes bigger pieces, things like that. You could get a nice, not like a dining room, like a fancy dining room table, but you could go get a nice farmhouse style table for four on Wayfair for like $3.99, $4.99.
Right.
No, it's like 800 and up now. Okay, you
Yeah.
can't. A dresser is like 1,000 now.
Yeah.
I was looking the other day for a bookcase. My daughter wants one of those bookcases with a rolling ladder, like back in the old days.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was looking at a space in my family room where she wants me to get rid of those other black bookcases I have and put a nicer one up that has a ladder that rolls. And I'm
Right.
looking, I'm like, $1,000 to start. And I'm
I
like,
was gonna say that's kind of cheap. They're usually like 1,500,
well,
those
well,
things.
not a couple years ago. I remember seeing them a couple
Yeah.
years ago when they were under 500. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
you can't,
Everything.
getting the guy to come to your house to wash your windows was like $1.99 special, $199 special. Now they want like $500 just to come out and do your windows, and I'm like, I can't believe
Well,
it, and it's not getting any better.
yeah,
It's
no, I
not,
know.
and income is not going up.
It's not the same.
It's
Yeah.
not going
But
up.
it never does. It never did. Like inflation and
No.
income never was really even. It's always been in the negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johnny said there's a way you turn off your reactions. Um,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
they're kind of funny.
You like them?
I just think they're funny.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, just trying to don't make any crazy How come it doesn't do it for me?
Look,
My Mac is right
look
there.
where my hands are right now. Tucked in.
Tell my husband, he's gonna be like, I don't want to see those balloons again. Anyway, the inflation is bad, and you know what? The income is not catching up to what everything costs anymore. In fact, there's been people who are saying they're getting a cut in pay. Just salaries in general are not, they're not.
And that's
Yeah.
true. Because you're
Um,
paying so much more for other things
yeah.
that it's not the same. That's why a lot of in our tri-state area, a lot of the businesses in New York City are practically mandating now, 5 years later, for all these their employees to come back to work in the city. Because as it stands now, a lot of companies are doing the hybrid, 2 days at home, 3 days
Yeah.
in the city. But now they're really pushing, especially for 2026. I've had a lot of my patients say they have to go back full time come
Wow.
2026. A lot of
That's
them are saying
My
that.
husband was saying he kind of misses it, kind of misses going in, and he likes the hybrid idea because he's been
Right,
home, which I personally
right.
love. There's a lot of wives out there. If you're on here and you have a spouse that is working from home and didn't work from home, do you like it better that your spouse is home, or do you prefer that you have that time in the house and he gets up in the morning and leaves? I
Right.
personally love having my husband
Him
around.
around. Yeah.
And but I have met people who are like, get out. I know people have been like, get the heck out of here, 8 o'clock in the morning. I want the house to myself. And I'm just like, oh
Well,
no.
I have to say, like my husband's obviously he works out and about, but this
Yeah.
weekend he's homesick. So I've had the house. I mean, my kids are older, so they're not really home, or they're working. So I had the whole weekend. I cleaned my house like there's no other. Like I washed
Mm-hmm.
my walls. I put away my Christmas stuff. I cleaned the molding. Like I was just like bored. Just I cleaned my refrigerator.
What?
I took like the shelves out and I cleaned the crevices. Like when you open my refrigerator, it looks brand new. It looks
That's
brand
awesome.
new.
Oh, I cleaned my
Yeah.
fridge too this past week. What is it about the fact that if people are home, you don't have the same energy or motivation to clean? But when they're all leaving and you're like, oh, you got one kid gone, see you later, I'm going here. And then the husband's like, oh, I got to go down to the store. And you're like, this is great. I get to clean the house. This is all. What is it about that?
No, I'm gonna say, like I said, my husband was sick, so he was in his in the guest bedroom. Because when in my family, if you're sick, you get quarantined. You never come out. So I quarantined him to the guest bedroom, and and I brought him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever, and tea in between. But honestly, it wasn't like I was gonna clean. I was just bored. I'm like, what can I do? All right, I might as well just start doing this, and I just started doing that, and one thing led to another and to another. But it was kind of really nice the whole weekend to do what I wanted to do, have the TV to myself. I didn't have to compromise on a movie, like it's those
Yeah.
little things that
Yeah.
you get giddy about.
Oh, can
I'm
we
like,
go
okay.
back to the thing about you quarantining? Oh, no, quarantining. I know we've discussed this before on a Moms
Yes,
for Justice earlier podcast,
right.
but let me tell you, Lynn, Jocelyn, sorry, I call her Lynn sometimes, when anybody, could be her husband, her child, whatever, they are not allowed to even unless just to go to the bathroom real quick, right?
Yeah,
They're
correct.
not, I could never do that. Like, I
Yeah,
would risk
correct.
getting sick. Because
You
we're
would
all
risk
who
getting sick?
cares? Yeah, why? We're all
No,
family. I
let me
would
tell you,
not let them come down on the couch and watch TV and
no,
be around
no,
human
because you'll get
beings.
sick. Because you'll get sick.
Nah, I
You
don't
will
agree
get
with
sick.
that. I don't agree with
Listen,
that.
there's a reason why during
It,
COVID, if you got sick, you were quarantined so that you didn't spread your germs.
guess what?
And because I'm not a stay-at-home mom and I had to work, I don't have time to stay home for each kid, and I don't have that many sick days to
I
stay home for
know.
each kid. Yeah,
I knew you
and
were
I don't
going to
have
say that.
yeah, I don't have the energy. Like so, I have the energy though to make sure you get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You stay home, and I'll cater to you. But I don't want everybody else getting sick. I hate
All
it.
right. Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you, I had COVID. When I got COVID, it was, I think I was one of the first people. I think I was the only person that actually got a test and was positive for COVID. Okay.
That
My
was me.
husband, no, no, no. I'm saying like in my house, I was the only person that could
Oh.
officially ever say that they had COVID
Oh,
ever.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
because and we know my husband had it and we think our girls had it, but I could never tell you for sure that they had it because they were like, I'm not going to go get a test. I'm just going to, nurse myself back to health, whatever.
Right.
But I did because I was the first person to even get that kind of sick where like I was literally I love the smell of shake and bake. Okay, shake and bake, the breadcrumbs.
Really? Yeah.
And I was shaking and baking pork chops. And I love the smell of it. And you know how they give you the little bag?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can't smell that. I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm looking down and I'm like, oh no. Right. So I knew that people at that time that were freaking out back in like 2020, 2021, whatever it
Right.
was,
Right.
were saying that the real test is if you go to a bottle of bleach and you put your nose in
Right.
that bleach. So I was
Right.
like, da 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 da, go into the laundry room and I open up the bleach bottle and I stick my nose in there and I couldn't smell it. And then I was, oh my gosh, I have COVID. Oh my gosh, I have COVID. And then like I ran to my husband and I said, I have COVID. I know. And I just have COVID. I'm going to die. I'm going to
Oh my
die.
God.
It was early on and everybody was scared and it was ridiculous. And I was crying and I go down to the doctor's office and I'm like, I have COVID, and then they tested me and sure enough, I had COVID.
Yeah.
And I went home and I took all these, my husband was on top of that stuff. Let me tell you, he researched to no end and he knew everything that you should take.
You did
And
take ivermectin, right?
we took I think we started off with the hydrochloroquine.
Okay.
Hydrochloroquine. And then eventually ivermectin did enter into our regimen. And I think at the time I had COVID, I took ivermectin, and all these
Okay.
people out there are like, what are you taking horse stuff for? And I'm like,
Yeah.
let me tell you something, people. It was no joke. It helped. It did help.
Yeah.
I felt
Well, it
better.
helped you. Right.
Well, it helps a lot of people if they take it,
Yeah,
but
I
most
know.
people
Yeah,
wouldn't
right.
even try it.
Right.
And then there was I took quercetin. And still to this day, even with a colder flu, you should take quercetin. Okay. Vitamin C and tons of vitamin D. You got to have your vitamin D and everything. So anyway, I took all that. But this is what I'm getting to right now is that he was in there, slept next to me, hung out with me, never got sick. His version or whatever, his sickness with COVID didn't come till like the following year, I think. So he did not catch it from me. And he wasn't going to spend, time away from me like that,
There's still no rhyme or reason to, who gets it, who doesn't get it.
No.
There's still no real connection. Because you're talking about close quarters, sleeping. How do you, and obviously you share the same bedroom, same bathroom. I doubt you disinfected every time you peed or whatever, used a shower. Yeah. And he should have gotten it by all means. I guarantee, that it just doesn't make any sense.
Rosie, guess what, girl? I can smell some things. Here's what I cannot smell. This is gross. Ready? I cannot smell human bodily functions. Fluids, gas, urine.
Okay.
Poop. I can't smell any of that stuff. Okay. I have smells, but they're altered and they're very weird. Okay.
So did any of them affect your food? Like anything affect okay.
Yeah, so peanut butter, I can never have peanut butter again. Peanut butter tastes disgusting.
I would die. Oh my God, I love peanut butter. I would die. Oh my God. That's real horror. Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is the worst one for me, and it's devastating. And here's the thing, because it doesn't matter, I still drink it anyway because I refuse to give up on it. But Coca-Cola, soda.
Oh, that's so bad for you.
I know. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Well, I'm not drinking it now.
Intestines. Okay.
I know. But, I love a good fountain soda, especially with a slice of pizza or like yeah. Well, seltzer, yeah. But look, Lynn, I like my Coke. And I don't drink it as bad as other people do. So,
I know.
But yeah, Coca-Cola tastes very strange to me. And certain, like ground beef, a burger, certain beef, unless it's like filet mignon or something. I'm fine with that. But yeah, but
that could be like a texture thing.
No, it's not. No, it tastes really like gross sometimes. A burger.
So
like
my
rubber.
My husband, he lost his smell factor as well when he got COVID. And well, actually, we don't even know if he had officially gotten COVID because he got COVID like literally the first week in February of 2020 before we even knew about COVID, right? So anyway, until this day, he still can't smell, but he can taste. So Rosie said she couldn't smell, nor can she taste. So I'm sorry about that, but at least he can taste, but he can't smell, which is kind of weird.
So she used to drink beer, and now she can't taste or smell it, and she can't have spicy anymore.
Well, you can't have spicy anymore. Why? Because you can't differentiate the heat. Like what makes you, or is it just not enjoyable? Like why bother kind of thing?
Yeah, like you can't tolerate the heat or you don't taste the spiciness. Like you could have, like if I gave you like the hottest chicken wing, would it bother you? You know what I mean? Can you imagine that?
Right. So she doesn't taste it, but it bothers her stomach and she's like, oh, what happened? Yeah. That I would kind of get.
Right. Anyway, we're down a rabbit hole with the COVID thing. But So, and what was the whole reason? She said I didn't eat meat and fish for over a year. Let us know about the spicy thing too. So why did I bring up the whole thing about COVID?
Because we were talking about quarantine.
Oh, quarantine. Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I've been quarantining my kids for 20 odd years and it works.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
It works.
No way could I do that. I need them. I'm like a big one with like, oh, you're sick today. Like go on the couch. The couch and everybody else is on.
This is me like through the door. I'm like this. What do you need? Tissue? Catch.
Are you like
No.
put on like the kitchen gloves to hand them an orange juice or a water.
No, I come in with a tray. I'm good that way. But most of the
But
time,
then when
I'm
you
just like,
leave,
"Let
are
me-"
you like, when you leave, are you like spraying yourself down with Lysol?
I'll hold my breath. Break up.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
No kidding. No.
Anyway, all right. So I want to move on to a couple other things that are in the celebrity gossip / true crime era that happened in 2025 that I thought was pretty bad. So we've got the death of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. I'm sure
That's a whole nother gamut about about the son. I mean, that's
so
mental illness is so big.
I'm covering that case on Moms for Justice, and I've been covering it actually a little more extensively than I thought I was going to do. So I know all about that case.
Right.
And it's absolutely horrible. And 2025 isn't the only year where we're seeing a problem with the whole mental illness of our everybody. It's not just kids, but Hollywood is being exposed. I really do believe that Hollywood, we're finding out a lot more about how dark Hollywood is. And look at P. Diddy. The things that went on with P. Diddy, R. Kelly,
disgusting.
R. Kelly too, right? Are so astronomically disgusting. If that is even anybody's ever used that combo of words before, it's very sad and it's depressing for me because I'm like, I remember growing up and watching the Academy Awards or the Grammys and never thinking that these people are doing things like that behind closed doors and degrading women the way they are.
Yeah, I know. And just when you thought like what Bill Cosby did was bad, because to me, I thought what Bill Cosby did was so horrific, but I don't know if it was. I don't know if it's because of what he did and who he was that made it even more horrific because he was like this father figure. You know what I mean?
Right.
But with P. Diddy, not happy. But some of you feels like, well, it's rap. It's you wonder if is that like part of their industry. But when you really do a deep dive on what actually went down, you're just like, that is just so inhumane. Like how can you treat anybody so disrespectful and with no
no regard for their
for them being a human, for their
that is what it is.
And
it comes from a place of their head gets so blown up from their celebrity. And they look down at the regular people like us. And they're just like, I'm bigger than life and I can get away with anything. And they're pushing the gamut. And I actually talked about this on Moms for Justice on my last episode when I was talking about Rob Reiner. I was talking about the fact that, at one point you'd go and watch, the TV at 8:00 and you'd watch the Grammys or even in the 80s, you'd see Madonna come out with the wedding dress and she's laying there singing like a virgin. And that was considered risque at the moment. Then in the 90s, you've got Beyonce coming out in like just really skimpy outfits, and now they're in their underwear.
Oh yeah.
And now they're not wearing bra. Yeah, and then the headlights, no bra, and the headlights are pointing and sticking out, and I can't believe, and it's almost like a one-up you. Like I'm gonna push the limits. I'm gonna go further, so I'll get on the cover of whatever Time magazine, and I'll be talked about tomorrow all over X and Twitter and whatever.
Actually, I don't know if it's Kim Kardashian. I don't think it was her, but there was another celebrity that literally wore
Miley Cyrus.
A nude sheer dress, like a dress that came all the way up to here, long sleeve.
Oh yeah,
and
Kanye West's wife.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
What's her name?
Nude. I don't know, but she was literally nude underneath, and you could see everything. She was wearing a nude dress, and it's like she didn't even put on headlights. You saw the light.
And then for like a whole month, I know this is what happened. For like a whole month, Kanye and this woman, and her name escapes me, but they realized that it was creating that was pushing them up in the news and making them like, people were just, oh,
Well,
I can't
people were talking
believe
about it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't believe he's letting her wear that, and I can't believe this. And then it turned into something's going on. She's like almost like his prisoner, and we need to help her. And it's like it just gets out of hand and gets excessive. And I
Yeah.
really think that
Right.
they purposely did that.
Oh, of
That
course.
they got together with their PR or whatever, and they were like, you know what? What can we say to shock the world? So they'll talk about me, and I'll get my, in this case, 1 month worth of fame, and not the 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
Same thing with the conservatorship for Britney Spears.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these videos, and I still don't know what's real and what's not. Have you seen
I
her videos where
know.
she's dancing? I mean, is she doing it on purpose for views and clicks, and she's just really a genius? Or is she mentally ill? You know what I mean? And needs a lot of help. And it makes me wonder if she's doing it on purpose, because I think somebody that's been betraying herself the way she does in these videos makes me think, well, surely somebody would have gotten her help by now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel
Well,
about it.
she's dancing, right? Half of you also kind of feels like, well, she's dancing. There's nothing wrong with her dancing.
No, it's different. No, she's doing more than that. She's like flashing certain body parts. She's doing stuff with knives. She's acting mentally
Oh,
ill
yeah,
and
but
really
that was old.
strange.
The ones with the knives, though, that was like that was
Isn't
like
it?
from 2 years ago.
Yeah,
That was
that's an
before.
example though. She's been
I
doing stuff
know.
like that since still.
Well, I
She
haven't
does these
seen any videos recently.
crazy outfits, crazy like movements and weird, odd things with her face. And I'm just like, does she need help, or is this all a way for her to make money? Because honestly,
Mhm.
Brittany, I think, was taken by her family. I think that they totally ripped her off, took her money, took away her, came up with this whole crap, gaslighted her,
Yeah.
and then she might need money. She might need money and need and yeah, there might be some mental illness there where she's like, I need to feel significant and important and loved. So it's coming out
Right.
in this way. But I have this feeling like she knows what she's doing. But
Okay.
I could be
I,
wrong.
I mean, I don't think that's so far-fetched. I definitely think she has plenty of money. I don't think she needs any more, although when you're rich, you always want more.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is she is mentally impaired. She took those drugs for so long, and
Mm-hmm.
you can look up any studies. When you start taking those kind of psyche meds, you're never really the same once you come off of them.
No.
And who's to say she's really off of them? Or and a lot of times those kind of drugs that deal with your serotonin levels, there's such a you have to be on it for a couple months to see the true effect of them, and then you
Mm-hmm.
start switching them up. So it's a slippery slope, honestly. But I haven't seen any new videos of her.
Yeah. No,
But
I
that whole dance with the knives was a little freaky.
was a little freaky. I agree. Other deaths this year, 2025, Pope Francis, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. That's a personal favorite in my house because I have a daughter that really loves the Beach Boys.
Oh,
Okay, Robert Redford died this year.
who knew
Um,
that?
you didn't know that?
No, no.
Robert Redford.
I know him. I just didn't know he died. Yeah.
Okay, so and then you've got this. All right, then you've got some of these fun incidents that happen that are like juicy, and everybody stops what they're doing and talks at the water cooler, right? So you've got the
Okay.
Lively, Justin
Yeah.
Baldoni courtroom feud. That was
Which is
crazy.
still going on. It's
It is well,
still going
yeah.
on.
Last I heard, which one got like bamboozled just recently? Somebody got bamboozled and like
Uh,
was dropped. They had to drop it because they really had no case. Do you remember? Were you
between
Blake
Blake and
and
Justin?
yeah.
Yes. So apparently, at this point, Justin looks good right now.
Okay,
But
that's what I
Blake,
heard.
but Blake was looking really good from like Halloween until now.
Okay.
Something happened, something came into
Yeah.
works, but it
Oh.
is proven though that Justin and whatever that there was like three of them were out to ruin her career. So that was like pretty much proven. But something else came out that she did that
But
she looks less than a light.
two wrongs don't make a right. But could they have done it because of what she was doing? I
Of
mean,
course.
she
Yeah.
was she was going to ruin him with her accusations for sure. So he might have just panicked and said, "I got to come back hardcore, or otherwise I'm not going to be working in Hollywood anymore."
Right.
So definitely. And another favorite of mine this year was the Coldplay Kiss Cam.
Oh, that was great.
Love that one.
That was great. I mean, just seeing all the TikToks about people redoing that
Yeah.
was hilarious. How everybody
Yes.
just made a spin on
Oh,
it.
oh, there were people like
Hilarious.
taking videos with their significant other, like they're at a concert. Like,
Yeah, and they were doing their own spin on it.
yeah.
It was just,
Oh.
oh, so good, so good.
So what I heard is that both of them, I think, are in the middle of, they actually are splitting with their significant others, and they both lost
Yes,
their jobs, correct?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
Yep. And then Sean Diddy Combs is really not as guilty as everybody thought he was, right?
What do you mean?
Well, he kind of got off on all those major
Oh,
charges. I mean,
right.
so
But he's getting
he's,
sentenced this week, I think.
I think he's only going to serve a little more time and that's it. I think he comes home. That's what I had
Mm,
heard. I didn't follow that so much, but
okay.
all right. So we have a few probably Adelson followers on here, but I can't mention 2025 and not mention A, the Donna Adelson trial, and B, this highly anticipated moment of Wendy being arrested that never happened. So
Yeah.
I need to mention that. Anyway, this as you know, I live and breathe this case, and I cover this probably the most on Moms for Justice. I thought the Donna Adelson trial was an amazing trial. I thought it was done very effectively, and I thought it was excellent. And I thought for sure that we were going to see an arrest within 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, we
Then
did.
then we didn't. And now everyone started making other predictions. Thanksgiving, she'll be arrested by Thanksgiving. Then I heard she'll be arrested by Christmas. After the 2 weeks came up and she was not arrested, I pulled back and I said, okay, no way. I'm not giving a prediction anymore because now I'm just like going to hang back and just, but one thing I will say is, I really do think it's coming, because I think there's enough for conspiracy. Maybe not murder, murder one, but conspiracy to commit.
Well,
There's plenty there.
Unless they come to the table with something new, I still don't think they have enough.
Right. Right. And
Something
you know
new.
what? I have some people on Moms for Justice that are asking that you still come on and, hop on every now and then and maybe even
Yeah.
do another Wendy debate. But I feel that you're not brushed up on it to do it.
Well, I would have to brush up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do it.
Because a lot has happened. I mean, did you watch her testify in the Donna Adelson trial? Did you watch the whole testimony of Wendy Adelson in Donna Adelson's trial?
Yeah, that when it was happening, yeah.
Yeah.
When it
So
was
you
live,
heard
yes.
kind of the new
Yeah.
things that came out from Georgia Kappelman.
Yes, which I thought was pretty, which led me to say on Monster Justice that that I actually could see it's more plausible
Yeah.
of her actually being part of it.
Yeah.
And remember I said I just really I don't think she was part of the planning. I do believe she knew afterwards though. I think
No, at the very least, I think she knew before and was allowing it to happen. You're saying after
Right.
or before?
No, I think she planted a seed for her mom to do something about it and for Charlie to do something about it. But I don't think she knew for sure.
Like with all the getting sick and throwing up and doing weird things on the weekends by the way, there were 3 trips, not 2. We eventually found that there was 3 trips. On all 3 trips, something weird happened with Wendy and she was acting very strange and suspicious. So to me, it's not like she planted a seed and didn't know anything until after it happened and then figured it out on her own. I think she knew step by step. She knew details, but I think that at the very least, and this is the least because I think she knows more actually than that. But at the very least, she knew in May, June, July that this is going down. No doubt about it, in my mind.
Well, I think the reason why she might have known it's going down because that court case was coming up. her court
But
case her law degree is
yeah.
going to be coming up.
Well, I had
So,
Stephen Webster on my show, and Stephen told me that on the 18th, the day of his murder, he had already warned her lawyer that he was going to be
oh,
filing
wait.
charges. Did you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, for some reason you sound like a computer.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Okay.
I don't know maybe
Maybe
it's
I
just me.
messed. It could be I messed with the wire. Okay, sorry about that. So, Stephen Webster came on the show, and he told me and the viewers that he had gone to, I think his name was just, it starts with a J. She had an attorney at the time that he went to his office because he was like saying to himself, what she's doing, is unethical as an attorney in terms of the relocation, but not only that, she was lying about assets, and being an attorney that's lying about her assets and about the money that was distributed between the two of them is actually hurts her as an attorney. She could lose her license because of that, because she was being
Right,
unethical.
right,
So
right.
he with Dan's blessing said, I'm going to, throw Wendy a bone basically and go to her attorney and say, listen, we don't want to see her lose her law license. You know what I mean? We just want to make this right. This is what's going on. If this doesn't get solved on the 18th of July, I am going to file charges, motions about this. And the attorney was like, okay. And he dies on the 18th. Okay. That motion was never filed because once Danny's out of the picture, it's null and void at that point. I mean, if you don't have a
Right, right,
plaintiff anymore,
right.
what's the point? So I mean, that's just one of so many things. One of so many things that just added to it. Her taking the artwork down, her asking
Oh,
questions about if her
yes.
children will remember their dad. What is the age that a child would still remember their dad or remember things that were said?
Right, but she asked Jeff that question.
Right. Jeff testified to
But
that.
yeah, but to me, I feel like that just could have been a casual conversation because isn't he what's his career again?
It's a social worker. Well,
There
he's a
you go.
professor he's a professor of social work.
Right. So
No,
that could be just a casual conversation
no,
that you're talking about, because you could be talking about like the stress you're going with your kids, and her just asking that.
mhm.
It's just her asking that. But I thought really taking down the artwork was, to me, significant. Like,
Yeah.
who does that?
She
Like,
canceled her cable
yeah. And
before the murder.
that was before Netflix became big and stuff. So if it was today's age, if it was now or even like 5 years ago, it'd be like, people do it all the time. You switch to Fire Stick or Roku. But
Yeah.
this happened, what, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
nobody was doing that then. At
Yeah.
least I don't think so.
The comment about at what age will a child still retain their memory? That question happened around a time where things were towards the end there, and there was hostility. She was acting strange. She was feeling sick to her stomach. That was around the time she said, "Come here, I gotta tell you, that my brother, was really gonna hire a hitman a year ago," and all that. And then somewhere in there, in the midst of these stressful conversations, according to Jeff, between Jeff and Wendy, was this question about, hey, how long do you think the memory of a child, is
Right.
how
I know what you're saying.
young can
But
you retain it?
that's the point I'm making, that she was going through a stressful time between her and her ex-husband,
Hmm.
and for her to ask that
Yeah.
question to a professor
Hmm.
who teaches psychology, it's a legit question.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's I
no,
just
it's
think
not.
it's yeah, it is.
And then okay, and then there was a memorial service that was just a walk-in, probably a
Oh, that was
picture on an
terrible.
easel.
Yeah.
That was in there was two in Tallahassee, and then his actual burial with the gravestone and everything. The children were not
Didn't
there.
go. I know.
You know.
But I would love to take a survey to find out who else would not take their children to their father's funeral like that. I would take my children in a heartbeat. There's no way my kids would not be part of that. I don't care
Okay.
how old they are, honestly.
So doesn't that
But
tell you so much right there too? It doesn't say she killed. It's just part of this overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence that when you put it all together, it's just really damning on Wendy. Um,
but see,
and
that's just behavior. That's just her behavior, her taking down the art.
that's all
Um,
you need. You need enough of that and enough of like, unlikely behaviors to happen to, try for conspiracy charge. You know what I
right.
mean?
But and that's what I'm saying. I still don't think they have enough unless they come out with something new that we don't know about. And actually, someone over here wrote that Donna leaving, Christine Hagel, I think, Donna leaving the country forced the state to arrest her. That's so true. Maybe
Hmm.
that's, maybe that's why they arrested her so quickly after the Charlie's trial because she was trying to leave, and
Well,
maybe they're just wait.
she's
Well,
saying,
maybe
I
the
think they were planning on arresting Wendy first, but because Donna was leaving the country, they put Wendy on the back burner and went after Donna.
yeah, but the fact is, we're done with Donna. So what's up with Wendy? But I think they're waiting for another move on Wendy because, or maybe they were waiting for a move from Donna or one of them, for out of both of
Yes.
them. And
Hmm.
since she took the bait,
Yeah.
they started with her.
Okay, so Primetime talks about the emails that I had read. I have copies of those emails, and she is on. I guess at one point she's with her children, and the one of the boys had asked Wendy, "Where's Daddy?" or "I miss Daddy. I want to see Daddy," and she said that he's in a box under the dirt,
Okay,
buried in dirt, basically.
right.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
what
poor choice of
understand?
words,
Is
but
that
I mean, doesn't I agree that it's just another reason that why we can't stand Wendy, but it's not
wait?
doesn't that
Explain
was
to
after.
me. Explain to me what's the negative about her saying he's in a box under
It's just a cold,
dirt.
callous way to talk to your child about your dad. That's passed
So,
on, I think.
so
Yeah.
Wendy emailed her son this, or somebody's
No, so
email?
there was emails going on between Donna and Wendy. And when the school was talking about the fact that that one of the boys was having a hard time dealing with his father's death, and Wendy had told the school, called the school or something like that, and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, something along the lines of, "Please do not talk to my son about his father's death. I will take care of that." So
Right.
anyway, and then somewhere in that email to her mother, to Donna, she says that, well, I had a discussion with him because he asked me about, his dad, that he wants to go see his dad and can he go dig him up or something so he can go spend time with him. And I guess maybe Donna had asked a question about that. And she had said, because I had told him that he was buried in a box in the dirt. Yeah.
So, and
And
what's the negative about that? Because she's
because
talking to she's talking to her mom about it.
but she's admitting to her mom that she told her son that he's in a box in the
Oh,
ground, in the dirt.
okay, so let me ask you this: what would be the correct way to say where he's at?
Well, well, I just think a
Because
box
because
in the
because the
dirt is kind of cold sounding to
but
me. I
the
think I
fact
would
is,
probably, yeah.
said okay, go ahead. What would you have said?
I don't know, but I don't think I would say that.
Well, you do
I
know that Jewish people get buried in a wooden box, not the
yes.
fancy
Hmm.
stuff that you see in most funerals. They
Yes.
get buried in a plain box in the
Right.
dirt. So I don't really, so I don't think she's just saying exactly where he's at. I mean,
Right.
who's to say that she didn't say more fluff around it? She just told her mom in the
Yeah.
email that I told him that he's in a box buried
It's
in the
just
dirt.
if I understand if it was like the fact that that they're so young, they're so little. I just think that would scare a child to think, oh, why is Daddy in a box in the dirt? I just think there's a better ways to go about it. Like when I was little, my father would candy coat the whole image of dying and going off to heaven and talked about it being like this glorious experience and that you'll be with the Lord and angels and all these things. And never in there would he be like, oh, and by the way, you're going to be buried in the ground, because it's kind of scary for a child, I think, to think
Right.
of because they don't correlate that.
Right.
They think, oh, I'm going to be in the ground and I'm going to be aware of that. I'm going to be
That's
aware
true.
of being in this box.
But
So
what
I don't think that's appropriate to tell a child
Yeah,
that.
but what I'm saying is that you read this email that that she wrote to her mother.
Yes.
And who's to know she didn't say more fluff around what she said? She could have said
No.
all the good stuff about it and then just and actually said those words too. It
No,
is the
you
reality of it. And you're
no.
assuming the conversation. You can't
No.
assume the
Well, I
conversation.
read the emails. I don't have them in front of me right now, but I read the emails and she matter-of-factly was telling Donna exactly what she said to the boy. She did not, it's not what you're thinking. I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And I could see that being something for somebody to do, but that is not the way it's phrased in these emails at all, by any
So she
means.
wasn't paraphrasing in the emails.
No.
She was more detailed.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So right. Okay, so like she's giving an example. Yes, daddy's body is in the ground in Canada, but his spirit is in heaven with Jesus. Well, yeah,
No,
well, they're
they don't believe
Jewish.
in Jesus. Yeah.
They're Jewish.
But same, I see what you're saying though. I understand what you're
There
trying to
is a
get at.
nicer
Yeah.
way of explaining it to a young child because they were 3 and 4 at the time they died. Now, let's say she didn't tell him this until 2 years later. Still 5 and 6 years old. So I would not be like, oh, he's in a box, in a wood. Oh, I think it was a wooden box too, is what she
Well,
said.
he is in a wooden box.
Jocelyn,
Jewish.
I know that, and you know that. I'm telling you what she's telling her sons.
Right.
What she told her sons is that he was in a box, buried in the dirt. Okay, and
Right.
I think that that is cold to say that to a child. I think that that would scare a child because I don't think the child really comprehends lights out. He's thinking, we need to go save him. Daddy is probably awake. Well, that's when I was growing up, I always thought that like I wanted to be cremated because when I thought about being buried, I always thought I don't want to be down there. Well, you're not supposed to be aware of that, but can a kid comprehend that? I don't think so. And I would never assume that my kid could comprehend that because they could have some serious nightmares about thinking about their dad being buried in the dirt. So, so yeah.
Oh, kids
Anyway.
never went to therapy? I mean, we don't know that. She says that they did.
We don't know if they went to therapy or not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So, I know it's getting later, but so to wrap it up, Brian Koberger case, Karen Reed case.
Yeah. Those are
Okay.
good ones.
That happened this year. I mean, what a year for court TV, for law and crime. What a year for Moms for Justice.
Oh, yeah.
I had a good year. I did. Thanks to the viewers. Oh, Lori Vallow Daybell. What a nightmare she is. The Mormon nightmare woman, blonde, whatever. Yeah, I know all about her too. She killed everybody. She killed her kids.
Yeah.
She killed, her lover's wife. She killed her own husband. It probably killed her own brother.
The weird thing about her is that she seemed like she had a very normal life, and it just, boy, did it change.
I know. So before we go, we got to talk about what we can do to make 2026 better and what our New Year's resolutions are and what we could offer to anybody watching right now on how to, if you had a crummy 2025, how would we make it? What would be our advice to you to make it better? You start.
Well, I was just going to say, like, my resolution this year is I have to lose my 18 pounds that found me in 2025.
18 is what you gained?
I gained, well, maybe not the whole entire year. I probably gained 15, but I started, packing a little bit on before that. Ever since I turned 50, it's just been a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now I'm like literally like 18 pounds in a hole from where I started when I was 50. And I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Like I literally can't fit into my clothes. Like I'm just,
When you visited me, you were going to, I remember you went jogging around my neighborhood when you flew. You didn't fly here, did you? Yeah, you did fly here. Right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So like, I stopped running because as you gain a little bit more weight, it's harder to run because you're carrying all that extra weight, So it's just one of those. So I have to lose some so I can get back into being a little bit more active when it comes to that. But I do other stuff. So it's not like I'm literally sitting home twiddling my thumbs, but I definitely want to, that's my resolution. I'm going to do it. I'm going to lose this weight because I refuse to buy a whole new wardrobe.
I hear you.
Refuse.
Yeah.
Refuse. I'm done.
I can't stand when you put on a little weight, the way it feels around your waistband.
Oh,
if it pinches me, If it pinches me even a little bit, I feel disgusting. I just want to put
Yeah.
on sweatpants that are super loose. I'll go out and buy like a cheapo at Ross or whatever. I'll go and buy like 2 pairs, size large.
Wear them all the time.
So now I know everybody's gonna go, oh, right? I mean, I gained 5 pounds. Yeah. 5.
But let me tell you, 5
It's a
pounds
lot.
was me last Christmas. Oh, I gained 5 pounds
All
this
right.
whole year. But this particular 2025, I've like literally gained a whole like 13 more pounds on top of that. It's just crazy. It adds up. It does. It adds up.
I'm looking for a picture of 5 pounds. Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
5 pounds before or after?
No, just hold on. You wait. Oh, I shouldn't have opened that one up. All right, hold on. Keep talking, Lynn.
Oh, okay. So anyway, so part of me trying to lose these 18 pounds is that I really have to shut my mouth to alcohol because I drink Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I won't drink, I won't touch it Monday through Thursday, I guess, right? Because I'll always have a drink Friday night. I'm very good. I stay on routine. I'm really good with what I eat. But come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm drinking like a fish and eating like a pig.
Not good.
So,
not good.
So I decided to do this January. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Dry January.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dry January means that you don't drink alcohol for the whole month of January.
I don't drink.
It's called
so
dry.
what do I do?
I don't know. But anyway, so then I started thinking about this.
She's like, screw you.
I'm like, really not drink the whole month of January? That's like too long. So I told my husband it was Sunday and I haven't had a drink since, New Year's Eve. And I said, babe, I'm not gonna do Dry January. He's like, why? I go, because I'm afraid that if I do Dry January, I might binge so much I'll drink too much come February and March.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So I said, I'm going to do damp January. And he's like, what's damp January? And I go, I'm just going to have a drink on Sundays. So that's what I did. I had one drink on Sunday, and that's what I'm going to do. Just have one drink on Sundays.
Everything in moderation.
Well, one drink is not moderation. It's outright diet. But I mean, like, there's no way that I'm going to lose this weight if I keep drinking. So
right.
It's
I actually lose weight when I do drink.
Ugh, of course you do.
I don't know why, but I do. If because I'll replace food with but I haven't drank in a very long time.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
All right, here it is, guys. Look.
What is this again?
Fat. 5 pounds of fat is on the left. 5 pounds of muscle is on the right. That right there is what I gained.
Which
one? And it goes on the left, the fat. No, it's fat. Trust me. So it gets dispersed in different places, and a certain chunk of it will go more towards your waist. Some of it will go a little bit towards your arms. Some of it'll go. I'm been thin my whole life, but the good news is this, guys. I started going back on my NordicTrack, which I love because I can go to I can go run in Argentina, Chile.
Oh, you run?
I used to, but I'm just started my routine again and I'm doing like the hiking series and the walking, and then I'll do like walk, run, and then I'll eventually get to running, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it though. I got to see how my knees are going to be, but I'm on there like 10, 12% incline.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Right. And I've been doing it every day. In fact, I still got to get on today. It's late and I have not gotten on for today yet. So I have to get on when we're done. But, I'm just going to stick to it. And then as soon as I get a little more energy, another week or 2 goes by, then I'm going to start doing weights again. But it's been really super hard for me. So
those last 5 pounds are always the hardest. Always the hardest. So
I'm always like really close to that weight because I'm not, that overweight. But I mean, I don't feel good about myself. I feel gross,
Right.
But yeah, so my New Year's resolution is to definitely lose that weight, take better care of myself. Yeah. To love other
Get tone.
people. Well, love other people more was another one. Is to give back to my community a little more. Check in on people. Like, guys, in your life will be better if a phone call to somebody who hasn't heard from you, or that somebody that might be in need, or that you need to help them, is worth so much more to me than you know.
I'm
m-
telling you, I call my friends all the time because I don't do
Yeah,
social media. I just don't care to go
yeah,
on Instagram. I'll go on TikTok every day, all day, but I don't want to respond to you on Facebook. I don't want to, I just
yeah.
don't, I don't want to do that, whatever. But so in order for me to know what's happening in your lives, because at this point in our lives, people just post things on social media and they think that you know. Like
I know.
nobody calls you up anymore and say, my
Yeah.
son got engaged, or
Yeah.
my girlfriend, my daughter had the baby. I mean, it's like you only get notified on social media. It's like nobody makes a phone call. Like, and I'm just like, it's so annoying. I feel like people have just lost that art of communication. They
I
think they're
know.
communicating, but they're not.
Right.
So I highly suggest people to get off social media. And if you want to know about your friends, and of course,
Yeah.
you have your close friends, and then you just have your friends that are friends. But if you want to know about, just call them. Just call.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have a nice conversation. So I'm glad that you're going to start doing that
Yeah.
because
And I have been. And
good.
another thing, and it's, not to, let me just say, I want to say this before I say the last thing I'm going to say, is
All right.
that, um, growing up, I was raised, you know, in going to church on some Sundays. I didn't always go every Sunday, and I sang in church, and, it made my mom happy to sing in church and all that and everything, but I didn't really get it. I didn't really get what was going on. I'm at a place in my life where now I get it. Like, I can't believe what it's done for me and I used to be like, oh, I don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. I was like, totally that person.
What do you
And I'm
mean? You don't want to hear
telling
about what stuff?
people would be like, oh, come to the Lord, read the Bible, go to church.
Oh,
People would say that to me, when I'm in my 20s and 30s or whatever. And I was like, yeah, 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 whatever.
right.
I blew it off. Um, but there really is a relationship that you can have with the Lord. And it is changing my life in so many ways. And I think one of the things I wanted to say that actually made the last 3 months not so bad is that normally I would have freaked out over a job loss, a heart attack, and my children being, going in
Right.
these different paths. Normally, I would have been crying all the time. I would have
Mm,
been freaking out. I mean, literally not knowing what is right around the corner. I mean, for real. Like, in our house here, we have been living this, I don't know what's going to happen. We could lose our house tomorrow type of thing. And I
right.
was okay. I've never been okay. I've
Yeah.
always been like, well, what are we going to do? But what about this? But what about this? I'm like the big but person. Everything is if, but what about this? And I'm never
Yeah.
just like content. And for the first time in my life, I was like, I have no control over this. This world we live in is a tiny blip, in the whole big picture.
Yes.
And we have each other, and that's all that matters. And
And health. I always
health.
say
Yeah,
health.
but
It's what matters.
the Lord, everybody, I encourage you, if you're lost in your life, and, just pick up the book. You don't, I mean, you should go to church, but, because of community and all that. But if you're just starting out, pick up the book and read John in the Bible. It'll help you so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you
So,
don't want to invest in a book, there's plenty of apps that you can download on your
oh,
phone.
sure. Yeah, you
There
can
are
get the
plenty of
Bible
apps,
app, but there's nothing
Yeah.
like, I really believe, I feel a difference when I have the book in my hand and I
Well,
have
if
it.
somebody who wants to, right, if
Yeah.
somebody wants to start out and just see, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
doing
sweet.
great. I am. I'm really doing great because actually things are turning around. Say a prayer for my friend. Not, yeah.
Yeah.
So besides what is your piece of advice, and then we'll close out, for having a good 2026?
Um, well, honestly, I think what you said was very giving. But I also feel like, you know, I'm really into just appreciating what you have. Everybody always
Yes.
wants things, and believe me, I want things too. And there's times where I might complain to my kids, or my one son always likes to remind me. I might complain about something or say something that I want or to be done, and my son will say, "Mom, that's first world problems." And I'm like, "You're right." Because there's plenty of people out there that just
Oh,
don't even have, like, here I am complaining about, I don't even know, like something. And but meanwhile, like, I have cousins and I have relatives that live in the Philippines that, they have like one comforter. And I have, like, it's the stupid stuff. Like, like,
I
what am I
know.
complaining about? And really, your health is so important. It means so much. Like, if you have your health, you have everything. And if you just recognize that it's important to stay healthy, and it's important that, because, like, for instance, like my son, deciding not to go back to college, wanting to, do a full-time position. I think it's crazy. We sat down, talked about it, but I have to believe that, it's his choice. Um, and I just gotta, believe in God that he's taking the path that he's supposed to take. But the fact is that he has his health, because if he didn't have his health, that could be a reason why he didn't go back to college, because he's sick. Like, that's worse. That's way
Mhm.
worse. Like, I'm glad that
Yeah.
he's deciding not to go back to college because of this reason, not that. So, I might complain because my boss is like such a jerk sometimes, but you know what? I do
Oh, I
have a
hope he's
job.
not watching this.
No, I have two bosses. They don't know which one I'm talking about.
Okay, okay. That's great.
or it could be like my boss that I temp for. Regardless, anyway, what I'm
Okay.
saying is that it's like, you could complain over any little thing. You can complain
Yeah,
about the person in line in front of you, and just
I
take a
know.
breather. It's not a big deal.
And
There's
just
so
love
many other.
everybody, be kind to
Yeah,
everybody, forgive
there's
people.
just.
They don't know what they do sometimes, and it's just,
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
just. And sometimes it's hard. Like, listen, I get road rage sometimes because some people are just idiots on the road. But, you know, that's my thing. I should probably, that should be another my New Year's resolution, is to not have so much road rage.
Oh,
I'll
yeah, road
try.
rage is bad, Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. No, no, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta, it just everybody just needs to have faith in God and just, you know, this
Or
is
just faith
just,
in yourself, or just faith in yourself. Like, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
But
not,
this
not
life is
everybody believes in God.
temporary. This life is temporary,
Yeah.
Um, and also when I have problems, I just like watch true crime. And that gets me out of my rut, and then I don't have to think about it. I mean, I just constantly, watching true crime. It's
I
insane.
know. You
Yeah,
love it.
I'm obsessed. So, all right.
Okay.
So, I'm so glad you joined us for our first live stream on Chitter Chatter. I
Yay.
am so excited about this channel because we can just whatever, just
And
be
just relax.
whatever. Relax,
Yeah.
hang out with you. I want to do an episode on like our favorite products and like things that
Mm.
we have around the house that we love and share them with our people, and maybe we'll do that
That'd be
next time.
fun.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. And
Hopefully there'll be more routine on when we, now that the holidays are over, we'll
yeah,
start to be a little bit more routine. Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
yeah.
All right. Love you guys.
All right.
See
Love you.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.